revolutions occurring in different parts of the world in the modern period. The modern period was marked with the different types of revolutions going on in different parts of the world. 18th and 19th century saw the emergence of republics, the emergence of democratics, the emergence of a new type of administration, a new type of government that people wanted to establish. There was a time when hardly countries had certain organizations, certain political organizations. Today, hardly there is any country where there are no political organization. Hello students, you are right. I am talking about the political parties. Democracies, republics, they have the functionaries as the political parties. And the political parties are the most visible institutions of a democracy. They are most visible. When you switch on your television, in the news, mostly the news, they have the reference of the political parties. In India, outside, in the European countries, in western part, you can see the countries having one or the other political parties everywhere. If we visit to the remote areas of India and we talk to the less educated people, suppose a layman, we talk to him about the constitution, we talk to him about the type of government, maybe the person may not be knowing about it, but chances are there that they would be knowing about a political party, because they are most visible in a democracy. Political parties, they are very necessary condition for a democracy, because in a democracy, political parties perform different types of functions. Now the question arises, what is a political party? A political party is a group of people, it is an organization, it is a group of people who come together to share the same political views, to share the same political ideas. They have certain policies and programs and they decide to work on it. A political party is also a political division of a country as well as division in the society, because political parties are very critical among the people, very critical, and they also create social division. Publicly, when we sit together, publicly when people get together, they obviously discuss about the political parties, about the ruling party, about the party which is in opposition, about the party which is popular in their own region. They discuss about the parties and they are very critical about it. Sometimes, you know, people feel very close to the political party and they feel themselves as the part of the political party. So they are very critical. Correct? However, a political party has three components. A political party can be formed by three components. The first component of a political party will be the leaders. Because there are so many people in a political party, there are so many voices, everyone has its own way of thinking, so they all go according to the consent, according to the guidance of the leader. So every political party has a first component, that is the leaders. The second component of a political party is active members. Every political party have several thousands, lakhs of active members spread all over the country. And they spread the message, they spread the policies, they spread the program, the ideas of a particular political party. So first I told you leaders, second I told you active members, and the third and the most important component is its followers. Because just now we were talking about the social division, because political parties, although they are concerned with the politics, but they also create divisions in a society, social divisions. Correct? So they are very critical among all. So followers, there are certain followers, some people they support a particular party while the other support another party. In one house, male members they support a party, female support another party. Yes, this is what we have in India, a very interesting part of it, that everybody has its own choices and not supporting a particular political party or supporting a political party. So in a family only females can support another party, males could support another party, and so on. So it's a very interesting chapter of your democratic politics. We will discuss everything about the political parties. We will discuss particularly in the context of India, that India has a number of political parties. Can you think how many political parties are there in India? Yes, you are right. There are more than 750 political parties, 750, more than 750. However, not all the political parties are the serious contenders in the elections. But there are more than 750 political parties in India. And the political parties, you know, they perform different types of function, and that is why our topic comes that why do we need a political party? They perform a number of functions in a country. Here we will talk about India. There are so many national political parties and there are a number of regional political parties in India. They exist and they have their followers, supporters, opponents, everything. So, why do we need a political party when we have discussed such a lot about political parties, that they are the most visible institutions of a democracy? Today hardly there is a country where there is no political party. Even those countries who are non-democratic, even they have political parties. In India, why there are so many political parties? Why I tell you that there are more than 750 political parties in India? Because India is a democratic country and people have the right to form the political parties. All the people equally, they have the right to form the political parties. So we have so far discussed about the introductory part of the chapter, about a bit the importance of the political party. Actually, when we talk of the followers, when we talk of the active members and leaders, we also talk of partisanship. Because partisanship or partisan, it is a very important, it is a very, very important element, I must say, of a political party. And partisanship means that a person is strongly committed to the party allegiance. The person, the leaders, they are strongly committed to the party allegiance. Strongly they are with the party and they are with the policies and programs, and they are with the decisions of the political party. So they all are knitted together, they all have partisanship together. Now we come to the next topic, that is why do we need a political party? This topic will run in two ways. First of all, we will discuss about the functions of the political party, and then we will discuss a very interesting topic. Again, do we really need a political party? That will be a very interesting part of the chapter. Correct? So, switch over to the functions of the political party, and the first and the foremost function of a political party is that it contests elections. After every 5 years, there are elections in India. After every 5 years, there are Lok Sabha election, general election. After every 5 years, there are elections within the states, legislative assembly. So, every now and then, there are some or the other elections going on in a country. So, the first function of the political parties is to contest election. And to contest election, every political party leader, they choose among the candidates that which candidate is suitable from which constituency. Correct? These are done in two ways. That is deciding who will contest the election, who will contest from which constituency. This is done in two ways actually. The first way is, which is adopted by USA, United States of America. When elections are close, political parties conduct their meetings and the party leader, he asks his political party members that give your names, whoever want to contest the elections. They all give the name, 6, 7, 8, whatever names are there, they are placed over here, and all the people, all the party members, they cast vote on the basis of their choices. All the choices are collected, and the person who gets the best of the choices will be decided to contest the election. This is a democratic way. This is a democratic method to choose candidates to contest the election. It is prevalent in USA, and gradually many countries are following the method of USA because it is very, very democratic, and also it provides opportunity to all the members to give their name to contest the election. However, in India, it is not followed. When we will discuss the challenges of the political parties, I will tell you that in India, party leaders assume many powers. There are no internal elections while choosing the candidates. Maybe in future we adopt this method, but it is not there. Then what happens in India? How candidates are chosen for the election? It totally depends on the party leader. Whomsoever he feels that the person is suitable, whomsoever he feels that the person can win the election, he declares, the party leader declares that this particular person, this particular member will be contesting election from this or that constituency. So in India, leaders assume lot of power. In USA, this choice is done through democratic or internal election. So this is the first function that a political party performs. I told you they contest election. The second function that they perform is they put forward their policies and programs before the people when elections are closed. Every political party has some policies and programs, popularly known as the manifesto, because these policies and programs, they help a voter to decide from the different given choices of the political parties to whom he or she has to vote. So policies and programs are put forward before election. So these two functions, you learn it, and we will proceed. We will further take chapter to other functions of the political parties. Till then, a very good bye from me.